Terence Bud Crawford forced to sit on the shelf even longer. Unless what up, YouTube? Big TL Heavy Bad Boxing TV. Man, if you don't get your big funny looking ass in here and hit the bag, hit that like button for your boy, that helps the channel. You know, I appreciate that love. Shout out to Gang the Bag Hitters. Y'all know the count. Big shout out to my members, not just subscribers, but my members. Sean and Don, hold the goddamn phone. And my man John out of the BX to Boogie Down. Oh, shout out Mark Nash TV, my newest member of the channel. Much love to my gang, my bag hitters. Now, if you're catching me for the very first time, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you can get all the content. I got you, man. Rock with your boy. And again, please smash that like button. If you don't like me, hit that thumbs down. I feel you. Either way. All right, for Bud Crawford. It's ugly, man. I got to keep it a buck. We ain't seen Bud Crawford in the ring since July 29th, since he washed Errol Spence. And here we are in April. And, you know, listen, I'm a big Bud fan, man. So I was hoping, you know, towards the end of his career, at 36 years old, he'll be 37 in September. I wanted to see him get some money fights. You know what I'm saying? Make some big money off a couple more fights before he get out of here. I'm almost positive in the back of Bud's mind that 38 may be the magic number as far as him retiring. But how many fights could you get in between 36 and 38? In my head, I was like, yo, he could do at least 3 big fights. But at this pace, it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Again, it's April. July make a year that he's been out of the ring. And it doesn't appear to be any closer to what we would all call a big fight. Now, unfortunately for Bud Crawford, Tim Tszyu's been suspended. Yeah, he's suspended due to his injury. Oh, not Tim Tszyu, excuse me, Sebastian Fundora. Actually, both of them have been suspended for the injuries they suffered in their fight last Saturday, right? A big gash in the top of Tim Tszyu's head that warranted 10 stitches. And of course, Sebastian Fundora got his nose broke early in that fight. A bloody mess, a battered face. His face was rearranged at the end of that fight. And he'll be out until September, right? So you're talking about last quarter of the year. That's a long ways away for Bud Crawford. And for Bud Crawford, it just doesn't make sense at this point to kind of just sit around and twiddle your thumbs and wait on that Fundora fight. And according to Lukowicz, it probably won't be as lucrative as Bud Crawford would like it. As Samson Lukowicz, the manager of Sebastian Fundora, is basically saying Bud Crawford, his price demand is a little too much. And also he wants to co-promote the fight, which he believes is just not going to happen. So many things working against Bud Crawford already into even making the Fundora fight. Now, they do have between now and then to actually negotiate and see what they can work out. But in the meantime, can Bud really afford to sit still? Can he really afford, again, at 36, about to be 37, with his eyes on more than likely retiring in the next year or two? Could he afford to sit still and not be active? But that leaves you to think, well, who could he fight? All right. Now you got the number 1 contender in Josh Kelly, who would he could potentially fight for the vacant WBO if the chips fall that way. Now, of course, Lukowicz is going to have to speak with the powers to be at the WBO to see, in fact, if they could hold off scripting him because of the injury and him being sidelined and being suspended from the sport because of his injuries. Now, if anything, I believe the WBO could recognize that, understand the situation, and grant him that time because, of course, he had the limited amount of time to start negotiations with Bud Crawford and get this fight actually done in a matter of 180 days, I believe it was. So maybe they grant him that time to recover and then actually fight. But again, that's a lot of time. What does Bud Crawford do In the meantime, I alluded to Josh Kelly, number one contender. But that is if they don't allow Fundora to do that. If they don't, then he could potentially fight Josh Kelly for the vacant WBO scrap, right? Because they could easily say, all right, well, he's going to be out until September. No need to wait. Give me that belt. If you're telling us right now you're out till September, give me the belt, right? And then Bud Crawford could fight Josh Kelly. But listen, that's not a big fight. That's not a big money fight. That's not what Bud wants to do. Bud wants to fight an opponent. He needs a dance partner where he can, garner or demand $15 million and somebody will be willing to pay it. It almost feels like he's trapped in a corner, man, to see Errol Spence, in my opinion, at 54. Because when you really look around, who can Bud Crawford fight at 54 right now? And definitely, I want to know y'all's opinions in the comment section. But who can Bud Crawford fight right now to really get that kind of money, get the co-promotional deal that he's looking for, and get that kind of money that he's looking for outside of a Earl Spence Jr.? All right? Or even if you wanted to double back and go to 47 and see the likes of Boots Ennis, which a lot of people want to see him fight Boots Ennis, include myself to an extent. And listen, I understand. I think we all understand the type of danger Boots represent at 47. And I don't think Bud Crawford's going to take that fight unless he's getting the kind of money that he wants. He could very well have to take a big pay cut depending on who he decides to fight next. At 54 or at 47, if it's Josh Kelly or if it's Boots. The only person I can see him, making the kind of money and getting the kind of deal, and maybe they're willing to work with Bud Crawford in the same manner, is with Errol Spence. Now, I think many of us didn't want to see that rematch at 54, even when he had activated his rematch clause. And now, under the circumstances, we could very well end up getting that fight anyway at 54. But again, for Bud Crawford, where else do you get the kind of money? What else are you going to say, hey, and consider this a big fight that they can pay you 15, 20 million, guaranteed, plus your pay-per-view? Make it, we got to make it make sense. And when you go up and down, you got the Keith Thurman, he's out now. Tim Tszyu, he won't be ready until May. But if he's ready to go in May, he's suspended until May 18th, I believe it is, or sometime in May. If he's ready to go, and we know Tim's always ready to go, he's fought 4 times in the last 12 months. But if he fights Bud in May or June, he could potentially be ready, for that fourth quarter of the year. So that's interesting enough. Maybe Bud wants to fight Tim Tszyu, but it wouldn't be for anything but a payday. And I think it also positions them. But of course, for Tim Tszyu, you got to think, hey, I supposed to be getting an immediate rematch at those titles. According to Lukowicz, they'll be ready when Tim Tszyu's ready. Outside of, Fundora's suspension being up in September. So that's interesting as well. I just don't know what corner Bud Crawford could turn right now and say, hey, it's a big fight. I'm making the kind of money I want, and they're willing to allow me to co-promote. It's interesting, man. Definitely want to know y'all's thoughts, man. Let me know in the comment section. That's all I got for y'all on this one, man. This is one we got to wrap our minds on and come and see what kind of conclusion we can come up with. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for Bud Crawford. So all I got for y'all on this one, man. Big T.O. Heavy Bag. Talk to him, Roger.
Most motherfuckers don't know shit about